Hi everybody, it is Liz Danoon here and I am in my white coat today because today is very much about who is qualified to test your child, your teen, your adult or yourself for dyslexia. Hi Kat, how are you? So the white coat is to remind you that we are talking about people now who have specialist skills. I've even got my academic glasses on. My lipstick is red, well, kind of red in this light, but I do have my white coat on. So who is qualified to test a child for dyslexia? Well, let's start at the top of the list. An in-school learning support teacher or counsellor with the appropriate qualifications. Now, by appropriate qualifications, we are talking somebody who has a postgraduate degree or a master's or a doctorate on top of their educational degrees already that is specific to specific learning difficulties, disabilities, and dyslexia. So they have to have done more years of school or more years of university or college to have the appropriate qualifications. Now, some teachers will tell you that they can test, but in actual fact, they are not qualified. They will be using screening tools, but what you want is a diagnosis that is recognised by your educational authority, because it's this diagnosis that is going to help you to get the accommodations and the needs of your child met when they get to those areas of school where they have to sit exams and pass qualifying exams in order to get the scores that they need or the marks that they need to get into their specific course. So that is the first thing you need to do. So if you're looking at an educational option, in other words, a teacher that's got a master's, a doctorate, or a postgraduate specialised qualification in specific learning difficulties, disabilities, or dyslexia, you need to make sure that your educational authority is going to recognise the tests and the qualifications that that particular educator has. Now, there are some countries, specifically more in Europe and the USA, some of our states, where that is really quite common. And you will actually have teachers within your systems that can do that diagnostic testing for you. And I believe that is one of the best systems because teachers not only understand the struggle of children learning and students learning, they also understand how the testing and the laws are structured. So that is, I think, the best way to tackle dyslexia head on from the school upward. But for those countries like Australia, where that is not the norm, you would want to have these people doing your testing for you. You would want to have a developmental paediatrician, but you may need a referral from your family doctor. That developmental paediatrician also needs to specialise in diagnosing specific learning difficulties because there are different types of development in children, as you would well know. An educational psychologist or an educational neuropsychologist generally do specialise in diagnosing specific learning disabilities, difficulties, differences, and also dyslexia. So you can definitely look at that. Some are better than others. Some write better reports and recommendations than others. And some will even give you a one-page summary that you can give back to your schools to actually help your child from day one, once that diagnosis has been done. So generally what happens is you go and see one of these specialists. They conduct the report. Sometimes all at the same time. It can go from 4 to 6 hours because there are a lot of components to the test. Or they might conduct it over a few days, depending on the attention span of the child or the adult. And then generally they'll take a couple of weeks and they'll write up a report. And that report is then what becomes their statement. And it's from that that the IEP is written. And it's from that that the teachers read through that document and take action. Here's the problem though. In many instances, our educators don't understand the jargon that's actually in that report. And this is why it is really, really important to ask your educational psychologist or your developmental child psychologist to actually write you a one-page summary in layman's terms that you can then pass on to all parties that come in contact with your child from day one, so that you can get action from day one. Now, children's hospitals, and this is all throughout the world, they will often have a department that is specifically for children with developmental or specific learning disabilities. And that particular department can include all of the allied health professionals in one place. So you can get your pediatricians, your psychologists, your social workers, your speech and language pathologists, your physiotherapists, your occupational therapists, nurses, teachers, counsellors, psychologists, all in the one place. And that can be a really great way to go if that's available to you, because then you've actually got a team of people who are all in the same room at the same time, who can all then give you advice and referrals to each other to make sure that the whole picture for your child is put into place. So there are some options for you. There are also private clinics, and you'll find plenty of those. They are the clinics, of course, where you go for your diagnosis and you have to pay, and it's fairly expensive. Here in Australia, even our government-based assessment and charity type organisations are super expensive to get a diagnosis, and it's inhibitive to those parents who want to actually make some changes for their children and try and get a diagnosis. It's an area of really great need out there. Some school systems seem to have this worked out, more particularly the UK and some of the states of America. In Australia, we are way behind in so many areas. It's so difficult, and it's an area that I'm really working hard on trying to improve. So not only do you have to know this list of specialists, you also have to be able to choose the right specialist if you've got the ability to. It's a bit harder if you live in a country town and you've actually got to travel to see the specialist. But it is important to actually ring them up, have a chat with them, get some information from them, find out what type of person they are. Think about whether that your child is going, or your student is going to resonate with them, if they're going to enjoy spending time with them, if that person is the right fit for your child in terms of spending a long time with that person getting their testing done. Because remember, getting your child tested for a specific learning disability or difficulty is actually really stressful for your child. They think in their head that once and for all, it's going to be proved that there's something really, really wrong with them. So I am going to talk to you in another Facebook Live about how you can put the testing to your child so it's a win-win for them. And it's really important that you actually have that conversation with them and you get it right. So choosing the right dyslexia assessor is the right way to go. Don't just think I'm going to choose the person with the highest qualifications, because what you really want to do is choose the best fit for your family, for your child, and also for your budget. And you need to make sure that you get from the diagnostic testing what you need in terms of the accommodations and specialist care that your child needs moving forward. So there you go. I hope that really, really helps. As I said, I've got my white coat on today. It is actually my children's sport art coat, which they've all used. But I wanted to just make you realise that to be a qualified dyslexia assessor, you really do need to have the appropriate qualifications. If you remember, I said yesterday, teachers can screen and teachers can profile. And if that is something that you want to be able to do, you need to go over to Get Into Neurodiversity and have a look at the course that we are offering at the moment. It is teacher training in neurodiversity, accredited training in specific learning difficulties, and it will teach you to profile teachers. So if that's something that you want to be able to do, with all the checklists and resources on offer. Get over to there. There is, get over to Get Into University. There is a 25% discount for Dyslexia Awareness Month, which we are currently offering, and a lot of teachers and a lot of whole schools are actually taking us up on that. Vicky was just saying, I felt very judged by the other kids, and then that was meant to be helping. Yes, it is really, really tricky. It is hard not to feel judged at times. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope I've really helped you today work out who you have to look at to go and get a dyslexia assessment. And I will see you again tomorrow with some more great information. I can't even remember what my topic is for tomorrow, but I know it's a really, really good one. And I hope you are having a super day. Bye for now.